Hey there! Today, we're going to strip music down to its absolute core. We're taking a little 7-step journey to really understand the fundamental patterns that make everything we listen to, well, move. So, you ready to take that first step with me? Let's do this.
But first, let me ask you something. Just think about any song you absolutely love. It doesn't matter what genre. What is that deep, underlying pulse that gets your foot tapping without you even thinking about it? What truly is the heartbeat of music?
Yup, you got it. It's rhythm. And here's the best part. It's not some kind of magic that only a few people get. It's actually a system of really simple, elegant patterns. And believe it or not, in the next few minutes, we're going to master them together. Okay, so our journey starts with the most obvious thing, sound. We're going to kick things off with 2 simple patterns that are literally the foundation of almost every piece of music you've ever heard. This first pattern, right here, this is our foundation. You can think of it like the steady 1-2 of a ticking clock, or a really steady marching beat. This is our home base, our rhythmic anchor. So these notes are called crotchets, and basically each one gets exactly 1 beat. It's that simple. In this little 2-beat bar, we have a super clear count. 1, 2. Now, to really feel it, we're going to vocalize it. Let's try it together just over a simple 1-2 count. Ready? 1, 2, ta, ta. Let's do it again. 1, 2, ta, ta. See? That's the core pulse right there. So we've got our steady pulse down pat. But, what if we want a sound to last a little longer, to kind of breathe for more than just a single beat? Well, for that, we need our second building block. This is called a min. It's just 1 single note, but it's held for that entire 1-2 count. So instead of 2 separate little sounds, it's 1 continuous sound that stretches across both beats. So how do we say that? Well, instead of that choppy ta, ta, it becomes 1 long, smooth sound. It's like this. Over that same 1-2 count, it's ta. Can you feel the difference? You're actually holding on to that energy through both beats. Okay, so we've covered sound, but here's where things get really interesting. Rhythm is just as much about the silence as it is about the notes. Let's dive into why those empty spaces are actually so incredibly powerful. Our third step introduces this fascinating little symbol here. It's called a rest. So what we have here is a sound on beat 1, and then it's followed by a very deliberate, intentional silence on beat 2. Now, saying this one is simple, but feeling it is what's important. On beat 1, you say ta, and on beat 2, absolutely nothing. You just feel the pulse in your head. It goes 1, 2, ta. Let's try that one more time. 1, 2, ta. You feel that? That silence isn't really empty, is it? It's got its own pulse, its own weight. Okay, now check this out. On the left, we've got sound, then silence. And over on the right, it's the perfect mirror image. Silence, then sound. Just flipping that one thing completely changes the feel of the music, and that's exactly what we're going to explore next. And here is that inverse pattern. Now this one teaches an incredibly important skill, how to start a musical idea on a beat that isn't the first one. It creates this awesome feeling of surprise by putting the note on the weaker or off beat. This is basically the definition of syncopation, and that's the rhythmic engine that drives everything from funk to pop to reggae. So for this one, beat 1 is totally silent, and that ta lands right on beat 2. It sounds like this. 1, 2. Ta. Let's do it again. 1, 2. Ta. You can really feel how that emphasis just shifts right over to that second beat. So we've had silence for just 1 beat. But what if we need a whole measure of quiet? For that, we have a very specific symbol for a full bar of intentional silence. This is a semi-brave rest. And listen up, because this is a super important rule that often trips people up. This symbol always means 1 full bar of rest. It doesn't matter what the time signature is. So in our little 2-beat bar, it's 2 full beats of silence. Just think of it like a dramatic pause. It creates this moment of pure anticipation right before the music kicks back in. All right, we've covered sound and we've covered silence. Now it's time for the final level up. Let's talk about the secret technique that makes music feel like it's literally pulling you into the next phrase. Now notice something really interesting here. The musical phrase doesn't actually start on beat 1. It begins on beat 2 of the measure before the main section. This is called a pickup note, and it acts kind of like a little running start into the next bar. The technical term for this is anacrusis. It's really just a clever trick that gives the music a little push, creating this wonderful sense of forward motion before the real start of the phrase ever even begins. And what's cool is we can also use this idea of an incomplete bar to end a phrase. Notice here how the last bar is cut short. The musical thought just resolves on that final beat of silence, giving the whole phrase a really clean, crisp finish. It's like the perfect bookend to the pickup note we just saw. All right, you've learned all 7 patterns, so how about a quick-fire quiz to make sure all these ideas are locked in? You ready? First question, how many beats does a minim sound over? I'll give you a second. If you said 2, you're exactly right. It's that one sound held for 2 full beats. Okay, next up, in 2/4 time, what does a semi-breve rest mean? Remember that special rule we talked about? The correct answer is that it means 1 bar of silence, or don't play for 1 bar. It always signifies 1 full bar of silence. And for our last question, what does our vocalization ta represent? That's our crotchet, the foundational 1-beat note we started this whole journey with. So there you have it. That's your new rhythmic toolkit. You now understand the steady pulse, the long note, the power of measured silence, and even that cool trick to create momentum with a musical lead-in. But you know, understanding these patterns isn't just for musicians, it's for anyone who loves to listen. So I'll leave you with one final question. The next time you put on your favorite song, which of these building blocks are you going to hear? What new patterns are suddenly going to jump out at you? Happy listening!